Hello fellow hobbyists, I'm Jason and I'm going to show you how to paint Ork Boys right here on Level Up Hobbies. Let's get painting.
Alright, today we're going to be painting up a Freebooters boy. And for this we're going to start off just priming him black. And then we are going to give him a nice base coat of gray sear. And we're doing this over the black because we're going to have a lot of light colored, brighter colors. And the black just, it'd take a lot to get those colors to cover over black. So we're going to lighten that up, give it a coat of gray sear, and then we'll move on to adding some colors. Alright, now we're going to grab some medium brown, and we're just going to start painting in the base, just dropping in some color in this. Again, like some of my last ones, we're just doing this just to get it done, get it over with, and not have to worry about it later. And after finishing the base, I moved right into the skin tone. And for this one, I'm using some Citadel's Elysian green. It's kind of been the standard for this series, and it's becoming one of my favorite colors to use for an orc skin tone base, because there's a lot that you can do with it, depending on what you wash or paint over it with contrast. So let's go ahead, and this is going to take about 2 coats and we will move on. Now I grab the Talisar blue and I use this for the pants. This is a really nice vibrant blue and it covers really well over lighter colors. And it took about 2 coats to cover the pants, the gray sear, and the final result was really great. Like it shines bright. It's very kind of gaudy that I was looking for these freebooters. And now I'm going to paint all of the leather parts of the model. That's the belts, pouches, and boots with Gore-Oruno fur contrast paint. This is a nice warm brown that's going to add a contrast to the cooler colors that I've got already on the model. Now pick your gunmetal color of choice and apply it like so. All of the silver bits I used Leodbakher to paint. You know, use whatever color you want here. It doesn't really matter. And now I'm going to add another pop of color using Mephidon red. The freebooters, they wear very colorful clothing and have brightly painted, weapons and armor, whatever. But since this is supposed to be for a group of boys, I want to keep it fairly simple, so I'm only using 2 pops of color here, one for the brightly colored pants and another for the weapon. So just pick your colors, and go with whatever you want. I know a lot of freebooters are exiles from like Bad Moons, so you get a lot of yellows and blacks, and mix some reds, blues, purples in there, and it'll look awesome.
Hey guys, if you're liking the video and you want to help out the channel some, give me a like down below. You can subscribe, you can share my content, and leave some comments. All of those go a long way to helping out the channel. All right, let's get back to painting.
Now I start picking up some of the smaller details, and to begin with, I use Ushabti bone for the teeth and skull that's on the miniature here. I add a little bit of gold to it, and this is just for like the shell casings. Usually for a bunch of minis or miniatures like in a group, I want to keep the amount of colors to a minimum, just so you're not having to go back and forth. But for this, I think the casings needed a little bit of, I don't know, a little variation than the rest of the model. So here we are, using some Balthazar gold. Once you wash it up, it has a nice bronze feel to it. So. And by bronze, I really mean brass, because I'm an idiot. And now I add a little bit of detail work to the belt plate here by freehanding in a couple checks. I just simply paint in a couple squares, fill them in, and tidy them up as needed. If you're not confident in painting checks or dags for orcs, it's pretty simple. Just practice on some spare card or something like that. And also check out my video that I posted specifically on painting checks and dags for orcs. I'll post the link above. And now this is where all the magic happens. I make a mix of about 50-50 Militarum green and orc flesh contrast paints, and I thin that with some contrast medium, and I just slop this all over the skin. I want to get some nice coverage, but I don't want it to pool, so I'll go back in after I clean off my brush and soak up anything that's gathering on the flat surfaces. I really want it to slide down into those recesses and give me some good depth to the skin here. If you're interested in seeing a couple other very easy ways to paint orc skin, check out my video, 3 ways to paint orc skin fast. I'll put the link up above. They're a little different, add some variation to your orc skin tones, which I love in my army. So check it out. And here you can see a little bit of variation in the skin tones. Look, boss, we's the same but different. And for the rest of the model, I generously apply some Agrex Earthshade. Nothing special, just use whichever dark shade you prefer for your metals and cloth, just to darken up those colors. So. And now I go back to that Elysian green, and I'm going to use this as the highlight. My wash earlier has changed that base color enough that if I go back to it and work it up, it works, or it acts as a very nice highlight. And you don't really need to go all out, because you're making a mob of boys here. So a few highlights on the face, maybe some on the shoulders or whatnot, and you're good. You don't have to go through and highlight all of the skin tone. You'll be doing it forever. And since the red of the gun is such a vibrant color and draws the eye, I want to go ahead and highlight this up too. And for this, I am just using some Wild Rider red, putting some little nicks and scratches along the edges. Nothing crazy, no solid edge highlighting here. It's an orc. It's a gun, but it's a club. They'll beat you down with it. And I think all orcs need a little bit of color variation in their face just to break up that green. So what I do is I go in and I start glazing in some Shyish purple, just very lightly, building up that color on the lips and in the gum areas of the mouth. And then using the same method, I take some Volupus Pink contrast paint and I glaze that around the edges and over the tops of the scars on this guy's skin. Just do it lightly, build it up if you want it, make it as dark or as light as you want. Just adds a nice contrast to this large canvas that is, this guy's back since he's not wearing a shirt. I mean, seriously, who does he think he is? Just shirt it up, man. Don't have to be different. And now to highlight up those scars, I take about a 1-to-1 mix of Elysian green and Cadian flesh tone. And I just lightly kind of just define those a little bit better. Here I dry brush a little bit of Ushabti bone on the base just to make those little details pop. Obviously with everything, use whichever colors are working for your army. So yeah, I mean, do what you want here. And now I finish it off by going around the world with some black here and just cleaning up this lip of the base. After this dries, I'll hit it with some matte varnish and this guy will be done. Not a bad looking model. And here is the finished Freebooters boy. I'm very happy with how this guy turned out. I think the colors worked really well. I would say if I was going to be painting a larger group of these, I would add some variations to make them a little bit more, I don't know, kind of like flamboyant and just that old school piratey look. Pinstriping in the pants, add brighter colors, variations in the colors and everything. But for a lone freebooter, I think he turned out really well. Hopefully you guys can take some of these ideas and use them your own. These recipes, if you want to call them that, are... What's nice about them is they're fluid. You can adjust them to suit your needs. So feel free. I mean, let me know if you use anything so I can get some inspiration myself. I think I love it when people can take these ideas and make them their own. So again, thanks for joining me here today as I paint up this Freebooters boy, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Hey guys, thanks for joining me here today on Level Up Hobbies as I painted up this Ork Boy. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can be notified whenever I publish new videos. Thanks again, and remember, build, paint, and play tabletop games. Later.